you find a case in a court of first instance, adjudicate, win or lose, go to the second, court of second instance, maybe court of appeal, up to the apex court. Have you walked our justice journey in its fullness? That is my question.
Any matter in a court of record. I'll begin with the Constitutional Court, since we are here on law, justice and freedom. The Constitutional Court, I represented Honorable Justice Yorokamba Mwine in Honorable Justice Yorokamba Mwine versus Attorney General, where we were contesting certain provisions of the Administration of Judiciary Act. I have filed a class action on behalf of the Basongora community. That is Amos Isimwa and others versus Attorney General. There are ranchers who are deprived of their land by this government. We filed a constitutional petition, and as a result, they have been adequately compensated. That's in the Constitutional Court. In the High Court, again, I'm going to restrict my matters to those that touch on law, justice, and freedom. Internet service providers had an increment in their license fees, and we filed a matter in the Civil Division. It was Internet Service Providers Association of Uganda versus Attorney General, saying that the increment in the license fees was going to inhibit the progress in our digital rights cause. And so many others I may not mention. There are so many women I have represented. I do not take on a case that conflicts with my value system. If I see someone is going to perpetrate abuse and he wants to use me as a conduit, I do not take on the case. I'll give you an example. I was approached by a lady, and the lady wanted to deny the father of the children access for the next 2 years, saying that the father should only visit the children once a year. It's something which could be done, but I restrained myself from taking on that case because it violated my value system. So for all the cases I've handled, they must appeal to the inner morality that I was talking about. In the Supreme Court, I have only worked there as a research officer.
He still has 5 minutes. Council Isaac Semakade. Council Isaac. Council Isaac, Mr. Chpalu still has 5 minutes to answer that question.
In the Supreme Court, there are works I contributed to that I am proud of to this day. I'll mention too.
Can we please get back to order, back on track to allow Mr. Kipalu to finish? Yes, back on track, and we allow Mr. Kipalu to finish.
In the Supreme Court, I made contributions to the case of Ntambala Fred versus Uganda. That case did away with the need for corroboration in sexual offenses. I also contributed to Uganda versus Uganda, which say that sentencing is necessarily arithmetic. Those are the contributions I have made in Uganda's jurisprudence, some of which I can talk about.
Okay, you still have 5 minutes to answer. Okay. Councillor Kipalu is done with his question. It's now time for Councillor Kipalu to also ask Councillor Semakade, the legal rebel. Yes, a question.
My question to Councillor Isaac Semakade. He has said the problem is the Attorney General. I take a different view.
I said the problem is Chiliowa, Chuanka. It has a name. It has a name. It has a height. It has an origin.
And you say you want to bring about it.
Say the name. 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 Say the name.
Yes, can back on order, please. Can we listen to the question?
How do you intend to advance the rule of law in this country without the collaboration of the Attorney General?
Very simple question. Those of us who have argued many cases know the answer. In the case of Karuhanga, Honorable Karuhanga Kapureka, Attorney General, at the Constitutional Court of Uganda, my Lady Justice, Timatemwa, Eshi Kumiza, who you claim don't you shit, you learned nothing from her. She wrote, and I quote, democracy, rule of law, requires conflict. Conflict.
all answered and utilized the time they needed to utilize. Now we open up to the plenary. Each candidate will have 25 minutes to answer questions from the plenary. I will start with Council Semakade. Those who have questions for Council Semakade. If you have questions for Council Semakade, please raise your hand and it will take him 25 minutes to respond. We shall take another round of questions. I need, okay, one. Can we please come down, keep your question precise? You need a question. Can we have order here? Questions? I needed you to move the mic. Where is the mic? Okay, fine. You may not have to walk down. Please ask your question. Okay, please order.
Thank you very much, the organizers of this debate. My name is Sewaya Haruna.
Can you please have order at the back so that we hear the questions?
My name is Sewaya Haruna, and for the record, I am the campaign manager for Mr. Kenneth Kipalu. Mr. Isaac Semakade, I have a question for you. As a member of the Uganda Law Society, whom you intend to represent for this year 2024 to 2026. Mr. Semakade, you understand that the Uganda Law Society, in execution of its mandate, has to deal with a number of stakeholders, including the Office of the Attorney General, the Judiciary, the Executive, and the funders. How do you intend to deal with these stakeholders to ensure that you deliver and execute?
Okay, thank you. Another question? Yes, let us also recognize the presence of Council Philip Munali in the house. Please stand up for recognition.
Makerere. My name is Philip Munali. I used to sit right here. I'm happy to be back here, but I'm contesting for Secretary of the Law Society. I'm sponsoring parent in the first year class of the school. I have a lady I sponsor, who is my staff. My question to Mr. Semakade. My question, because your message seems to be in the ears and the minds of the people. I believe these are things you have said 10 years ago. How do you justify, or how do you want to convince the electorate that it is the right time to use the radicalism that you're proposing to achieve the benefits that we need as members of the Uganda Law Society, but also as the society vis-a-vis the state players? Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Joseph Bill. Joseph Bill, makerere graduate. My question is to Council Semakade, but candidate Kipalu can also answer it. Yes, listen. Currently, we are having around only 60 people from makerere school who are going to graduate in January. The rest have been neglected by LDC. On top of that, we have about 1,400 students who have graduated and LDC has rejected them. When we called upon the Uganda Law Society to intervene, they neglected us. And yes, and on Monday, the students who managed to fundraise amongst themselves to get lawyers and go to court, the judge absented themselves. On a matter which is so urgent, LDC is starting on Monday, the judge is telling us they are absent. And these students have no future, especially the ladies. Where are they going to go for 1 year? So my question is, what would your candidature, what would your presidency do about the future of the law society, which has been sabotaged?
Back the table. A listening God. Legal Pericles candidate Isaac Semakadi. My name is Akapurila Walakila. And there's Aris. Yes, I'm very welcome to you. I was drawn to your campaign because it is deeply rooted in jurisprudence. And specifically say one of the 4 pillars of your campaign is decolonization. One of the evils that continue to plague our legal system, violence, and makerere law society inclusive. Today we have had some intellectual entertainment from you. We have had a lot from you, something which is a rarity in this country. Just for the sake of continuity of that thought, can you please delve a little bit in detail as to what you perceive as the trappings of decolonization of our law and the legal system at large? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Very good demeanor and pause for our law students and graduates. So you have some time to.
All the questions seem to be mine. What's the time check for that?
Okay, calm down, please.
Back on track. Bang the table. May I get the name of the gentleman who complained about us? Elizabeth. Yes. I beg your pardon. Joseph B. You have asked the most important question of the day. 200,000 from my campaign fund to Mr. Sam Okot-Ola. Announce yourself as the new data to Mr. Joseph B. Mr. Joseph B. Aineugawa. A thorn which is not removed continues to hurt. LDC, like Inaisa said, has been as dead as a doornail since 22 years ago. It's just waiting for vigilance, a barrier by vigilantes. A barrier by it is way past reformers. It needs to be. It needs to be. It needs to be. It needs to be. The message of abolishing LDC is not for dimwits, dead wood and rotten tomatoes. It is for the winners of destiny. You. I therefore, much regret, send my message of consolation to your colleagues who are stuck in this pipeline of broken dreams and dashed hopes that LDC represents. My sincere consolation. I was consulted by one of them, Charles Ranga, Mugema or something. Mr. Mugero, you here? Yes, come. You like to fight for your rights. When you stay back, when I just said, it's the most important question. Mr. Mugero, play team number 1. Africa number 1. Now, Mr. Mugero, Mr. Charles Chwanga brought my message. What did he say?
Your stand is abolish LDC.
And what would he say? Go in detail. Mr. Mugero wasn't listening. I told them don't go to court. Go to the president. He has all the answers. Guys, Mr. Mugero, wake up. Clean the room. Smell the coffee. The courts are dead. The judiciary is in crisis. Say it.
The judiciary is dead. On that very point, on Monday was supposed to be had on Monday, this very Monday. We reached court. The justice was in his chambers, but he couldn't listen to us. He couldn't listen to us. So, how can that be a functioning judiciary? We were there on time. So, the judiciary is dead.
So, back on track.
Back the table.
Back the table.
Back on track. The judiciary is dead.
And don't vote. The judiciary.
They don't vote hard.
And don't vote hard. All hope is not lost. You need to organize, not under Article 28 or 126 of the Constitution anymore. You need to remember, power to the people. Article 1, Article 3, and Article Aloiki. Which one is that article? What is the Aloiki article? Guys, is this makerere? Is this makerere? Dr. Kamumba, what has happened? Is this makerere? What is the Aloiki article? What is the Aloiki article? What is the Aloiki article? You are not angry. You don't know how to protest. So you can't manufacture a protest solution. That place will change in a minute. In a minute. If you attack it. Where is my personal assistant? The gallant Makererian, the tiger, a Victor Oye, a Mr. Kenya Oye. This gentleman is the only great seer amongst you. When we began writing about abolish LBC on the internet, he fought all sissies, bigwigs, and rotten tomatoes. He fought them off. But he fought them off with style, diction, and great wit. And I told him, DM, you belong to a cabinet.
It's ironic that 2 years ago, when we came up with the entire concept of abolishing LDC, and I put the message in our class group, people were asking me questions like, "Human, are you normal? Are you normal? What are you thinking? How do you abolish LDC?" That's how advocates are made. But then 2 years now, and they are in court, and they are crying. The judges can't listen to our case. Go to the president.
So, Victor guy, Yasin. Has Yasin left? Yasin is part of our Founders Academy. Part of our agenda is to abolish LDC, abolish law council, okay? Abolish everything. Chase destiny. Chase what? These are laws of the colonial relics. These are colonial hangovers. They are not for you. They work for us. They will not work for you. Victor understood the message. You must hear them.
Council, 4 minutes left of your 10 minutes time. Answer that note.
Of the first time or the second time?
The first time, I've given you 10 minutes.
Okay, so you give me.
There will be another round of your questions. I'm just reminding you.
All right. So, Mr. Kenya understood. We sent him to spread the word
he brought back a report that they are not yet ready. So what did we do? Waited until there were pigs for slaughter. Then there was. I have told my colleagues at the bar that LDC is an abattoir. Okay? It's a relic of an education institution. It is characterized by sexual harassment and suicide inducement. The center can't hold. There is so much. There is an entire PhD thesis. And the irony is the author of the PhD thesis sits atop the Chitezi that you call LDC. So there you go, guys. Do you want answers from Tiwashonka? He gave you one. 3 or what? He was all over the place and all over the map, and none of you said that dog won't hunt. Except Aloiki maybe, but she's confused by foreign interference. That is the only problem I have with Aloiki. Aloiki, she lacks political awareness. But I said my message to her today that when she's ready for political class, I'll be magnanimous in receiving apology. So, the other questions, Harris, Mr. Munabi, and Mr. Sewaya, I can combine all of you in one. First of all, Mr. Haruna, Mr. Munabi gave you the answer. There has been a whole record of 10 years of stakeholder collaboration. And what has it brought? Chitezi Atel and Chitezi Ichitel. Chitezi, what caused that you think? You think it was rebels? Rebels caused Chitezi. Answer the question. Did rebels cause Chitezi? Did rebels cause LDC, Mendes and Abattoir? No. Rebels are going to provide the solution. We only have answers. Mr. Harris, we have to take a generation. Come with me. We fought battle. We tell people battle. Tell them your report with me.
Battle. I first interrupted with legal rebel.
That is what
in my first year during the Kenya presidential elections, when the university administration had with impunity eliminated one of the candidates because they had perceived him as a rebel.
The tiger.
As a tiger. After David, we went to Castle Isaac Semakadi.
At what time of the night?
At around midnight. And the race was remaining with only about 4 days. Castle Semakadi was able to get an injunction. And that's how the tiger in the name of Bala David Buiruka was able to emanate. And
that's why you
story. No, I'm the right honorable speaker.
The speaker.
So the book was a public organization. Yes, but on a serious note, this gentleman is a man that works for the people. His campaign is rooted deeply in the jurisprudential questions of the day. I hope there are many fourth years here who are studying jurisprudence. We want a legal system that do work for Ugandans. 95% of the cases today are not heard in court because court is for a small class of people who can afford court. And the opponents, as I perceive them, are those who are careerists who are only interested in the status quo, maintaining business as usual. But we need our mothers. We need our mothers, like the mother that you have seen sent to. We need our sisters. Everyone can, and your mother. Everyone. What Semakad is promising is that
everyone should afford the law. Justice should be accessible for everyone. It should not be a privilege for just a few, but a right for everyone that is accessible for everyone. And the legal system as it is, it cannot deliver on that promise. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
So he had the answers, but I think he wanted to trick me.
Okay. Yeah, so Council Semakade, you can take a break for now. We will have another round of questions. Okay? Now we have another round of questions. Back on track. I've even forgotten the name, but those characters up there. Now, they are rebels. Okay, back on track. Yes. Now we'll have another round of questions for Council Chipalu. Yes. And let us also recognize the presence of Council Muchivi here, who heads research and advocacy at Law Development Center. And I think we are starting with Sonia's Law Development Center is an abattoir. So we will take the message home.
Well, good afternoon to you all. My name is Okufil Godon, LLB3. Okufil Godon. LLB3, Okufil Godon. Yes, so for me, I have a concern, and this issue has been neglected, yet to me, it seems to have been one of those fundamental questions that should have been answered this year and last year. The aspect where the legislature, actually the speaker, when one of our lecturers, following the constitutional law paper that he said, and the honorable speaker directed that the paper be investigated, and that also he directed the vice chancellor to do so, and actually a committee was constituted to that effect. So you see an infringement to be, in my view, on the right freedom of education. Yes? This, to me, makerere, is the longest spinal cord of academia. So I would want to get your comment on, in such an instance, what would you, as president of the law society, protect or uphold the right to freedom of expression, specifically academic freedom? Thank you.
Thank you so much. The question I have for the question is, from what the gentleman has told us, he's a firm believer that the problems we are facing, difference of the rule of law, injustices, it hinges on the regime, specifically I think President Museveni, if I can infer. So my question is, as a U.S. president, would you outrightly advocate for regime change to solve the problem?
In your opening statement, you say that no one is above the law, not the police, not the Attorney General, and not the Director of Public Prosecutions. And you also stated that you acknowledge the right of freedom, the rights and freedoms of all Ugandans. And you also acknowledge the legal team that represented the protesters who protested for the March to Parliament protest. So my question to you is, what was your role? What role did you do as an advocate to safeguard their human rights, because they protested and they were arrested and their human rights were violated. So what role did you play? And if you are elected as the ULS president, do you have a concrete plan in place to ensure that the freedoms of expressions for all Ugandans in the future who protest are protected?
Final question. My question goes to Mr. Kipalo. Till the date of our LDC admission, I had never known that you sit on the Committee of Legal Education. Is it? In that time you've been on the Committee of Legal Education, you as a person, what have you advocated for reform in the legal education of Uganda?
Okay, we've started with the first round of questions, right? We will have a second round of questions. How will be the next one? No, you have no audience. You will do the next one and the next round. You can hold on to the microphone. You have 10 minutes. Back on track, please. Let's allow Mr. Kipalo to respond to those questions.
Joseph Nyarugaba. I'm very sorry to hear about your experience. It's very sad and unfortunate. The question of law development center. The question of law development center is very critical to us as a law society. What I'll tell you is that we have a stakeholders engagement, and that stakeholders engagement is meant to decide on the future of legal education. Two proposals. I have two proposals for the Law Development Center. First of all, you must recall that the Law Development Center was designed to be an uptake institution catering for one university. Right now, we have 14 universities in place. Clearly, 14 universities can't be feeding into the same